Thank you, Josh, Todd. I want to begin by thanking student government, Marissa, for stepping in and speaking yesterday. You probably don't know this, but they spoke a day earlier than they were supposed to, and that was because of me. So we had a family emergency, and I couldn't get back in time, and so I asked for them to switch me days, and I really appreciate them stepping up in that way. It really just speaks a lot about their level of preparation and diligence and care, and so I'm thankful that they stepped in and really helped me out when I had a time of need. And really, that's kind of been the story for me lately, is kind of a little bit in a time of chaos. And so, Josh, if you want to go ahead and put the first slide on the screen, this is going to be our topic today: chaos and peace and me. And you could take that word "me" and insert "you." Chaos and peace and you. And so what I want to do is I want to give you a preview of a discussion that we could have today. We probably won't have this discussion, but we could. And so I hear a lot of people walking around, and they're saying, "Hey, how was your summer?" Right? Because summer's over. And so I, at times, answer that question, "How was your summer, Jared? Did you have a good summer?" And I would say, "No. It's terrible. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't do anything. I was stressed to the max about 99% of the time. I moved my office. I didn't sleep a lot. It was hot." I could go on and on and on. And really, if I could choose one word to kind of encapsulate the entire summer, that word would be chaos. Absolute chaos. We could have another conversation with the same question. "Hey, Jared, did you have a good summer?" And I would say, "Yes." On June 18th, we welcomed Nico Harbor Stark into the world, so go ahead and put that picture on the screen. We have a baby. So, normally his head is not upside down, but I thought it was cute, like that, upside down. I don't know, I'm a little strange, but he's a cute baby. So I did find out a couple weeks into the summer that Nico was born with no kneecaps. So, but some of you are thinking, that's crazy. Like Dr. Seifelein's like, "Oh, is he ever going to walk?" But babies aren't born with kneecaps. So, gotcha on that one. Babies aren't born with kneecaps. Who knew that? Who knew that babies are not born with kneecaps? Dr. Eckhart probably. Babies grow kneecaps. So, babies have a superpower of growing kneecaps. So anyway, he's going to walk someday as he grows his kneecaps. Anyway, on June 18th, Nico was born. And Nico was so calm coming out of the womb that the doctors became very active right away in trying to get him to cry. And so many people in this room have experienced that moment. I watched as my newborn son is moved to a table, and he's breathing, but he's breathing very, very shallow. And it's never a good thing when you see one doctor look at another doctor and they're kind of perplexed. And so me is like, "Okay, what's going on?" Right? So the doctor began to poke his feet and tickle him and roll him back and forth and just perturb him. Just messing him while he's on. And the whole time, for me it's going, everything is going fast and slow at the same time. And at some point, Nico lets out this wild scream. And when he does that, they breathe in deeply, and his body flushes from purple to pink. And in that moment, one word that could describe that is peace. Right? Even though he's screaming, there's a lot of peace because my son is okay. So, chaos and peace. Some of you are experiencing great chaos right now. Everything's a little different. Some of you, it's a lot different. Things are uncomfortable. Things are foreign. I remember my first days here at York College back in the fall of 1997. I knew a couple of people at York College. I didn't know a ton of people. But when I came to York College, I remember one of my first days in the cafeteria, get my food, get my tray, go try to find a place to sit, right? And even though I knew some people here, they had a different lunch schedule, who knows. And so I'm holding my tray, and I'm just sort of scanning the cafeteria, like, where can I sit? Where can I sit? And so people are walking in front of me. I realize I'm kind of in this aisle. And so I step back, and someone else walks in the front, and I step back again, and then a group of people steps back, or walks in front of me, I step back again, and all of a sudden I feel my body just get completely just hot. Just scared. What's going on? And then I realized I'd backed into the coffee machine and had tripped the trigger, and the coffee was running down the back of my pants. Welcome to York College, Jared. So anyway, chaos. Some of you are experiencing that right now. New things, new places, new people, new things, new routines. Everything's a little bit different. But some of you, you're back in your place, or you found your place, or you found your people, and everything is good. If there's one promise I can make you entering this semester, it's this. To those who are in chaos right now, peace is coming. To those of you who are at peace right now, chaos is coming. And it will go back and forth like that for as long as you are alive. I promise. It will be chaos and peace and chaos back and forth. There's an Old Testament book that I like, Habakkuk. I started to call this obscure Old Testament book, but I thought, okay, maybe some Bible teachers would be here and they'd think that was mean about treating Habakkuk that way, so I won't do that. But Habakkuk is not a well-known book, one of the minor prophets, but the Bible is cool to me because it's really not that different from the lives that we lead today. The time is different, the language is different, but really it's about the human condition. And so many things that you see in the Bible, even though it's from a way different time, and nobody you know is named Habakkuk probably, the situation that he was in is not that different from the situations that you and I are in. Habakkuk, the book of Habakkuk outlines a conversation between Habakkuk and God. And we experience that, right? We have our own conversations with God. And this book kind of lays out like this. I'm going to give you the stark notes of this book. Habakkuk complains about something, and then God responds. Habakkuk complains a second time about something, and then God responds again. And at the end, there's this resolution about who's really in control. And so I won't read the whole thing, although we could. Like I said, I'll give you the basic footnotes. So part one is this. This will be on the screen kind of one at a time. So part one is this. Thank you, Josh. So Habakkuk says the world is in absolute chaos. Habakkuk looks around him and he sees that nothing is right. Nothing is okay. Things are messed up. He's very concerned about what he sees happening around him. So part two, God responds. Go ahead and put that slide up there, Josh. So God responds and says, okay, fine. I'm going to deal with it. Okay? I will respond. Right? I won't go into how Habakkuk responds, but Habakkuk says, or God says to Habakkuk, I will take care of it. So he gives him an answer, and Habakkuk does not like that answer, leading us to part 3 of the book. Habakkuk complains again. He says, say what? Surely that's the wrong response. How many of you have been in that situation where God responds to something you prayed about, and you're like, sorry God, wrong answer. Let's try to do it another way. And then part 4, God says, you may not get this now, but you will. From where I'm sitting, I see everything. And God sits in a much higher place than we do. The next slide is from Habakkuk 2, verse 20, where God responds and says, the Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth be silent before him. Now, oftentimes I think of life as a puzzle, and I'm not really sure where I fit into it. I'm not really sure what situations go where, and what I'm supposed to do, and how I'm supposed to respond to anything. And we have this problem, or at least I have this problem, of casting my human emotions onto God. Because I'm confused, I think God must be confused. But that's not truth. That's not reality. I mean, we don't have a God who's up in heaven going, well, that's a strange situation. What are we going to do about that? Right? He sees everything complete and finished and perfect and done. So it may feel chaotic, but God is in his holy temple. Let all the world be silent before him. And so when God responds with that in part 4, we see part 5 of Habakkuk where he comes back and places his faith in God and says, I believe in your peace, even in the midst of chaos, confusion, and brokenness. I will believe in you. And how many of you have been in that place? So even in a time where things don't add up, things don't make sense, things are just completely in chaos, you're able to come to a place where you can see it and know that God is in control. In the next slide, Habakkuk responds in 3:17 and 18, where he says, I should read it right here, it's a lot easier to see it right here. Though the fig tree does not bud, and there are no grapes on the vines, though the olive crop fails, and the fields produce no food, though there are no sheep in the pen, and no cattle in the stalls, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will be joyful in God, my Savior. So again, the language is different. But for him, he's saying, in all this chaos, I will still believe. I will still find peace. See, I believe that peace is found in God alone, in the midst of chaos. There's an old philosopher. He's not a well-known philosopher. I don't think you're going to recognize his name, but his name was Heraclitus, and he was a philosopher. And he kind of made famous this Greek word, logos. Or Terry's thing is pronounced logos, but he made famous this Greek word, logos. And this word has been translated and used in many ways. But the way Heraclitus used this word was something that keeps chaos in check. Peace in chaos. See, his philosophy, as the philosopher Heraclitus looked at the world, what he saw was that everything was in a constant state of change. Everything constantly. You could never stand in the same river twice. You could never look at the same river twice, because no matter how minute, no matter how slight, everything was constantly changing. And that's true. You may not see around you when you look outside, you may not see how fast those bushes are growing or that tree is shedding leaves, but it's happening. Everything around us is in a constant state of change. But what he saw was, despite the constant change, despite the constant chaos, there was some type of order. There was some type of balance that kept everything in check. Despite all of that, the world still turned, the sun still came up, and the stars still hang perfectly in the sky. So within chaos, there is peace. So when the gospel writer John writes his gospel, in the first chapter when he says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, he uses that word logos. In the beginning was logos. In the beginning, peace reigned in chaos. Jesus is peace in chaos. Jesus is the force and the power that is able to keep all of the chaos in check. The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. See, Jesus might not remove chaos, but Jesus is peace in chaos. And I want you to remember a really simple equation. It's right down the board. I'm not that good at math, but this is my equation for you. Chaos plus Jesus equals peace. I don't know if you remember a time that you were driving through a rainstorm. Just imagine you were driving through a rainstorm, and it's a powerful rainstorm, and the rain is just smashing into the windshield, and your windshield wipers are going as fast as they can possibly go, and you can barely see the road in front of you. You can't see 100 feet, and you're just trying to make it through this rainstorm. And then all of a sudden you pass under a big bridge, right? And what happens? All of a sudden everything stops. For one quick, beautiful second, depending on how fast you're going, there is ultimate peace. That's what I believe that life with Jesus is supposed to be like. We are not taken out of the chaos. It is all around us. We can still see it. We can still be affected by it, but we can be protected because chaos plus Jesus equals peace. And that's what I needed to know in my chaos. And man, if it was as easy to live as it is to say it, that chaos plus Jesus equals peace. But that's my challenge to us all as we begin this school year. That as we sort through all the chaos that we're going through, that we can see Jesus in all of it. Thank you.